Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, on this channel I talk about different animated movies, shows, and the characters in them as well. And so if you are interested and absolutely love a certain movie or show or a certain character, chances are I'll be talking about them on my channel. So I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get started. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a very old TV show that was around long before I was. Really long before I was. And that is none other than Tom and Jerry. And I know they actually have several movies and shows, but I figured since now I'm going to be reviewing shows and movies about them, I figured the best place to start is where they began, and that is with one of their old shows. And this episode I'm going to be reviewing, I believe it's called Smitten Kitten, I believe. And this episode, I'm just going to say, is kind of basic, so there are going to be some things I'll mention in this episode about a couple of the characters that I guess you can kind of say theories I have, although one's not so much a theory. But anyway, let's get into the review of this episode. Okay, so the episode begins with Tom and Jerry acting like, well, Tom and Jerry. Jerry runs out of the house with a pair of scissors in his hands, which apparently no one told him you shouldn't run with scissors. Either that or he just didn't pay attention or maybe forgot. I don't know, but anyway, so he runs out of the house, and he had messed Tom's tail up with the scissors, and Tom is chasing him, and then he grabs the scissors from Jerry and is about to cut the poor little thing in two. I mean, sure, he shouldn't have done what he did to Tom's tail, and of course we don't know what started the fight between Tom and Jerry in this episode, but I get the feeling Jerry probably started it. I feel like Jerry's the one that mostly starts the fights, but, well, I guess Tom does too. But anyway, so Tom is about to cut Jerry in two when he sees a girl cat who, in my opinion, looks like a human-sized mouse that's supposed to be a human-sized cat that has a more human-like shape to her. I don't know, I just personally feel like she kind of looks like a mouse. In the face anyway, like her face, she just kind of reminds me a little bit more of a mouse that's trying to be a cat that, oddly enough, is human-sized and has a human shape. Oddly enough. But anyway, so Tom sees her and immediately falls in love with her, which this isn't the first time this kind of thing has happened, apparently. And this girl cat sees Tom and does this really strange giggle. Yeah, that. But anyway, so Tom goes over to her, and something pretty interesting happens. Once we see that Jerry is upset about this little green, like, devil, which I guess is supposed to be like, you know how, like in these old cartoons, there is like, a devil and an angel that represent, or that look like the devil and an angel, but they are actually the good and bad conscience, that's what they represent, the good and bad conscience. Well, oddly enough, this little whatever he is, isn't actually red, he's green, and oddly enough, there was no good conscience that showed up in this episode for some weird reason. But I do have an idea what this little green thing actually is, but I'll actually get to that at the end of the video. So anyway, this little green thing reminds Jerry of the different times Tom has fallen in love. Like the one time when Tom and Jerry went to the beach and Tom sees this girl cat just minding her own business reading, I think it was a book. It actually looks like a book, but it might have been a magazine, but I think it was actually a book because it actually looks more like a book. But anyway, she was just minding her own business reading her book, and then Tom just comes right up to her, and he even drinks all of her drink that she had with her and eats her hot dog. And he just like lays across her or something, and she like sneers her nose up at him, and I'm like, you do that to a cartoon girl nowadays, you probably wouldn't walk away with your head. Oh boy, but yeah, still, that was absolutely insane. I don't know what Tom was thinking, but I guess that's what, cartoon guys did back then. Because, again, this was years and years ago. But anyway, so then he reminds Jerry of another time when Tom invited the girlfriend. I think it's the same girlfriend he has in the 2014 Tom and Jerry show. And so he invites her over to dinner and has Jerry to be their little waiter, or waiter prisoner, since he actually has Jerry to do just things Tom really could have did for himself. I mean, oh brother. Like, he has Jerry blow on his soup for him, and oh my goodness, it's like, could you not have done that for yourself? I mean, come on. But Jerry does get back at him because he actually drinks Tom's soup, and when Tom brings up the spoon to his face, Jerry squirts out, or spits out, I should say, the soup in Tom's face. Which Tom did kind of deserve that, but that was a little rude. But it's Tom and Jerry, what do you expect? Anyway, so then he reminds Jerry of another time when Tom fell in love with another girl cat, which was this cowgirl cat. And I'm not sure what episode this is from, and I don't think they show her very much in that episode. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find that episode. Maybe I'll review that one as well in time. But anyway, so yeah, he reminds Jerry of these different times when Tom has fallen in love. And then Tom is seen whispering something to this girl cat, and she does that weird giggle once again. Yeah, but anyway, so then he reminds Jerry of another time when Tom was serenading another girl cat, and how it was just so obnoxious, and how Jerry was being bounced around his own mouse hole. It was kind of funny. And then the little green creature gives Jerry a pin, some sticks of dynamite, and some matches, so he could break up Tom and this new girl. And Jerry is marching himself up right to Tom and the other girl, but then he sees a girl mouse, and he falls in love himself. And the little green creature is like, oh my goodness, now he's in love. And then he actually sees a girl, whatever kind of creature he is, and falls for her. And then the episode ends. So like I said, the episode is kind of basic. It's a great episode. It's not bad for an episode that's probably like 80-something years old or something like that. I don't know if it's quite that old, but yeah, this is a pretty good episode. This is one of the episodes I really like from the old Tom and Jerry show. But I will say that, one, I still think that girl cat looks like a mouse. I mean, her face and her head, it looks like a mouse-sized human with a human shape is trying to look like a cat that has a human shape. I mean, that's what she looks like to me. I mean, she's a pretty girl cat, but she doesn't really look like a cat to me, at least in the face. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But also, something interesting about this episode is the little green creature that appears to Jerry. And like I said before, this creature is green, and there's actually no good conscience that comes up and is, going against what he's saying to Jerry. So this is pretty interesting, and I do have a theory of what this thing actually is. I have a feeling that this isn't the average bad conscience, and since this thing is green and there is no, good conscience that tries to talk Jerry out of what the bad conscience is saying, like what usually happens, and the fact that Jerry appears to be jealous in this episode makes me think that this creature is actually the green-eyed monster, or at least Jerry's envy. Kind of like, imagine if, say, Envy from Inside Out 2 could, appear to Riley and, verbalize everything that she's thinking. I feel like, if you can imagine that, I can imagine that that's probably what this green creature was doing in this episode. He was just, I guess, verbalizing what Jerry was feeling, I believe. And it does make sense. So I honestly believe that's what this green creature is, and that does explain why he's green instead of red and why there was no good conscience coming against him. And I will say I'm very glad, though, that Jerry didn't end up doing something horrible to Tom, or that girl mouse cat or whatever she is. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that's probably what this creature actually was, which again, it makes sense. But anyway, so yeah, whatever that creature is, I think that this is a good episode, and this is definitely one of my favorite episodes from the old Tom and Jerry show. But anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode review, and I will be reviewing more episodes from Tom and Jerry, both from the old show, and I even want to do some episode reviews from the 2014 show and, more recent stuff, plus the movies. I don't know if I'll review the live action one. I don't review live action stuff, but since it's half animated, and I do have several opinions about it, I might do it, but we'll see. That one's a maybe. But anyway, so stay tuned for more, and see you soon. Bye.